And by so doing, they go in and cast the vote. And since most nations on the earth operate by a democratic system.
So are you saying now, before one is given the power,
yes,
people must have a level of, a level of confidence in them?
Now, this is what you need to
even
understand.
if they don't know him personally?
Now, remember your question was in the context of authority.
Thank you.
You can be someone who's very powerful, but you are not an elected official. Because the word power has to do with influence. See, influence is me getting you to do what I want you to do without necessarily making you do it. I'm not forcing you, I'm not commanding you, I'm not instructing
That's
you.
That's influence, right?
Power That's influence.
Power is what we're talking about.
And power itself is an effect. See, if I speak to you and you feel some kind of way as a result of what I've told you, at that point in time, I've exercised some level of influence on you. And that influence in itself is called power. See, power in itself is affectation. So when I make an effect, because what I'm saying is having some level of influence on you, so I'm having some level of effect on you. So power, in its core groundest understanding, is having effect on someone by a result of what you communicate with them. When you say something or you write something for them to read, then immediately I have some level of influence on you because I want an outcome as a result of that information I'm pushing. Now remember, I have explained also there are two kinds of power, which is negative and positive. If the information is wrong, which is what we call falsehood, I can use that power and effect a change on you negatively because I have a selfish interest or an end game I want to achieve with that information. And by so doing, I'm able to put you on a trajectory that pans out with what I want. But if I want you to have a general outcome, then I should be able to give you information and let you make the decision. Now, in the context of leadership, leadership is not strength in itself. When you occupy a position as a leader in a community, in a place, even in a family, you are exercising, you are in a place of strength. Okay, let me give you a perfect analogy to this. Beautiful. A car. So a car has an engine. The engine runs in fuel. Any type of fuel it runs in causes the engine to combust. And that immediately, watch this, that immediately has a propulsion or the capacity to propel that vehicle to move forward. But the vehicle will move forward just because it has an engine, just because it's on. You have to change the gear into place, which transmits the power from the engine into the drivetrain. And with that, now you are able to drive. Now, for you to be able to drive, you need strength. Because for you to be able to balance the wheel and the steering, you're exercising strength. But in order for you to accelerate forward, you need power. So now, this is what I want to get you to understand in this context. Leaders are people of strength. Have you seen every time there is, like for example, 1st of October, every year the Chinese celebrate the year that the anniversary of the Communist Party coming into power.
They call it Year of Snake or something.
No, those are annual. Those changes every year. Those are their New Years. But I'm talking about the celebration of the Communist Party, because the Communist Party is the primary institution that runs the governance of the Chinese people. Now, when they do that event every year, the premier, who is the chairman or the head of the party, in this case Xi Jinping, stands in their open square. Then you see the soldiers and the people marching. Have you noticed that every time they march past, they call it a show of strength? A show of strength. Why?
Show of strength. Okay.
Because as a commander-in-chief of any polity or a leader or a mayor or a governor, what you exercise is strength. But strength.
So are you saying now? Sorry.
Yes. Come in.
So are you saying now the power we're talking about here doesn't really have that influence like that of strength?
Okay, so
because although it might mean we're digressing a little bit.
No, I want to connect it. I want to connect it.
Yeah, because there's a point I'm trying also to arrive at.
Okay.
You understand? And the point is, I want us to get down to, because while I was listening to your podcast, right, when you did the 7 types of elitism,
yes.
right, we're going to get there, where you then have to help us just slightly break them down a little bit in just 2 seconds or 4 seconds each, so that we can know which one has more strength and which one has more power.
Okay, this is it.
That's why I said, okay, fine, let's get to power. The word power and information, or power of information.
The reason why I'm connecting both of them is this. When you asked the question, said...
The sun is really, really hitting my head. Okay. So it's fine. Continue.
Remember, you asked the question, those in leadership, how do they have power? And I'm trying to explain to you that the position itself doesn't give them power. It only gives them strength. But men of strength power grab. Now they want to control the information, because they are not necessarily influential without that strength. If a president is powerful, it's because he occupies a place of strength from which he's able to juxtapose and grab power. And that power is the information he uses to regulate what the polity does. That's why when they come to power, the first thing leaders do is to find a way to control the press. Because anything that will throw them in a bad light, they try and block it. And anything that will blow them big as someone who is really doing what he's elected to do, they try and showcase it. In itself, in its core self, you have to understand that governance and leadership is force, and force is strength. That's why people who are in leadership doesn't necessarily ask your opinion when they make decisions on things they need to do. But what they now do is this: they try and control information. Why? Because they want to be influential. Remember, they are individuals who are authorized in order for them to function in a capacity. But for them to be able to do their work effectively, think about it. There are different presidents all over the world. There are presidents today that are highly celebrated, but they don't achieve anything. And simply because the media, they are a darling of the media. Then there are presidents that have also been there. They are never valued, because the media constantly hounds them, constantly criticizes them. So as a result of that, the media is fighting to make sure that that person of strength does not have the influence that he requires in order for his job to be easy in the polity.
All right, sir. Sorry. Okay, fine. So, in a nutshell, though, so what you're saying is that, because the next question I'm going to ask is what you're trying to answer now.
Yes.
So what you're saying is this now, right? I'm coming to that word of the word power.
Yes.
So you just said now, because while you used a moving vehicle as a good example, to say, okay, fine, when you change the gear will give power and blah 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 blah. Okay, fine. Okay, cool. So what you're saying is this, right? Power is a force.
It's not a force. You see, watch the words I use. Every time I use the word strength, I use the word drive, I use the word force. When I use the word power, I use the word information, effect, because at the end of the day, you have to make the decision. But I'm presenting the data in such a way, when you make the decision, it will be the outcome that I want.
Okay, so
that's why it's influence.
So in one line now, what is power to you? In one line.
Power is effect, having effect on people towards a determined end. That's what power is.
Towards a determined end.
Yes.
So which means towards a particular end. That the one who's, because like for instance now, as we're sitting here now, right? Do you want to know one thing, that just the way we've ordered this coffee here now, this white coffee here now, right? Did we use power to get this? And the lady served us with smile all over.
Yeah, we used financial power, because at the end of the day, she knew we were going to pay for it.
Financial power.
Yes.
Then doesn't power have to do with force sometimes? I mean, because look, for instance now, if like in a sane environment, in a sane community, you can't have a sane community without having some little bit kind of power. Because it's only that power that people will be scared of, to know, hey, if I go in contrary to what the people in authority say, they will use power on me and I'll be punished. So now in that situation,
one word is called control.
So then power is control then.
Power is control. Power is control. But if I give you the liberty to make that decision based on truth, it's not control. It's empowerment. I'm just empowering you. So I'm telling you, if you take this decision, this is the end game. If you take this decision, this is the end game. So I present it before you, life and death, plus and minus, negative and positive. But if I already want you to do this exact thing, so I have to, so that means I have pre-regulated what the outcome must be. Yeah. And that pre-regulation of outcome means the information I have to give you has to lead you into that rabbit hole.
Perfect.
And that lead you into that rabbit hole is called control. So the people in leadership try and control the polity by regulating the information the people get, and it's called coverage.
What happens in a situation where the politicians come now?
Yes.
They won't vote.
Yes.
Like what will happen? Like what happened recently in Nigeria?
Yes.
They won't vote and all that.
Yes.
You remember, they're not going to use force. Under the constitution, they're not supposed to use force or to even say, please vote for us. Because in a situation where politicians are saying please, that means you don't know what you're doing. Tell people what you want, what they want to hear. So in that situation now, where politicians come into to vote us, I'm like, okay, we're going to do X, Y, Z. Vote for us. Are they using power there, or they're using persuasion?
Okay.
Or they're using what they call white lines?
Okay.
Because if
you watch the way the modern day politician operates, they always look for dirt on their opposition. And the reason they look for dirt is
because it's a game anyway.
Because they want data regarding that person that will throw negative light on them, wherein the person is forced to now choose them because the opposition clearly shows that he's incapable of mounting that position. That dirt in itself, if it is dirt that is used in a very destructive manner, it's actually falsehood, especially if it's designed to channel people on a certain trajectory. See, if you say, go and look at my history, when I was the leader of so and so place, when I was the executive chairman of so and so company, I did this, I did this, I did this. Go to the company, send reporters, send journalists, let them find out what the company reports. When I was the leader, the company grew by 200%. I was able to pay shareholders all this. What are you trying to do? You are trying to project information so that at the end of the day they can compare him or her to the opponent, to the opposition, and now make a decision in line with that. So choices in itself is what is required in order for you to choose someone.
Thank you. I was getting there because remember, these guys are looking for power.
Yes,
they're looking for power. But what they're looking for power, then there's still something they're using to influence people's mind.
Okay.
That thing they're using is what I'm trying to get from you.
Okay. Remember, the question still boils back to what we said in the beginning. Influence is having an effect. If I have an effect on you, you will take an action. Because power is always targeted to an action. Someone has to act on it.
And those can be in two ways anyway.
I told my wife some time ago, she was talking about someone who was telling me something. I said, see, you would always know the effect someone has on me based on what I do after they've said it. I may listen to you, and listening doesn't mean I will do anything because I have to process that information.
True.
And many a times what people tell me is not what I do. But when you see me taking an action based on what someone tells me, that means they've had some form of effect on me. That effect is called power. Because that's what power is. You've had an effect on me. So now you are literally dictating me, but you are not forcing me.
Okay.
Because I'm still making that decision based on what I want to do.
Okay, so now...
But now you've given me the information, which is the raw material and data that I need in order for me to make that decision. And that's what power is.
Okay, so from your podcast link titled Media Elitists...
Yes.
Yeah.
The 7 types of elitism. 7
types of elitism.
Yes.
Could you please, break them down for us, just in a very short form, what these are, and then how you were able to, to come up with those 7. There's 7 in number.
There are 7.
Thank you. So.
Okay, so our society in itself is broken up into 7.
Sorry, sir. Okay. Because before you go into that, right, I think, Karl Marx said, a society is broken and made up of three people in the society.
Okay.
The kings, the soldiers, and the artisans. So Karl Marx said. He said the kings are your leaders and what. The artisans are the people, which might be made up of people of the of the middle class. You understand? And then also the soldiers. Soldiers are the ones, according to him there. So now you came up with, and then that was valid from his own view. You understand? And then I can say probably because he did that because that was back then when he did this. There was no technology, there was no this, there was no that. So now that we're in this era now, maybe we can call you our own Karl Marx of this era now. And then you came up with this seven sets of people.
Seven types
of people in the society, in the community.
Okay, let me put it like this. Karl Marx is. I don't want to talk about Karl Marx, maybe because he has his own people.
Was a philosopher and the people.
Yeah, who likes his whatever.
Are you a believer of Karl Marx?
No, he existed. So when you say believer, I know he's a human that existed. But the things he taught were actually wrong. The things that's why his communistic, his Das Kapital. I used to joke many years ago. If you give me an 1800 publication of Das Kapital and you give me a tissue paper, I would take tissue paper over the publication. Because it's not worth it. What he's teaching is, no offense to all his fans, garbage. It's all pure nonsense.
Is it because
it doesn't add up?
So
you see, that's why.
Is it because we're in the modern age now? Because I promise you, man, there's nobody that will say that will go out of university that will not even study Karl Marx in a way.
Okay, let me explain something. Karl Marx originally was a young Jewish boy that grew up in Germany. He went through the vicissitudes of life and eventually came to a place where he saw that the monarchy was a domineering class against the working people. So he had to find a way to balance out what he felt should be the solution to all that he was trying to resolve. But at the end of the day, what he said did not work. Why? Because he ended up bringing about the death of about 50 million people under the former Russian or USSR as of that time. It didn't work. The Chinese, who also adopted it, under Chairman Mao, who was the stooge literally of Karl Marx, he also applied it in China, and history has it that the Chinese lost more than 20 to 40 million people under that system. The system the Chinese run right now, it's not Karl Marx's teaching. The only thing they are running, because you have to understand that it's a financial system, but without drilling deep into that, since that is not our centrality. This is what I want to explain.
The seven types
the things I teach are eternal. If it was presented in year AD 101, it will work. If you present it in BC 885, it will work. If you present it 10 days after man was created, because I believe God created man, it will work. If you present it in 2023, it will work. It's eternal. It's not subjective to what is the modern day society. See, in this world, everything is layered into 3 and divvied up into 7. Everything in the universe is layered into 3 and divvied up into 7.
Those 3 ones, guys, you want to learn, right? And we would like to have that, And then please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, right? And if you're really enjoying this, we still have the powerful man himself here, Mr. Mark the Lion. And I hope we're really taking good care of you guys here. So call on ourselves, share these links, tell them, call on your friends, that something great is happening here. And then I promise you, man, if you listen and if you watch with an open mind, I promise you will learn a lot today. So you just want to open your mind, because like they always say, there's two sets of people. There are 2 sets of listeners in this world here. Those who come with their own mindset already, they just want to hear what you want to say, and those who come with an open mind. You understand? So, and I think if you open your mind, well, we're not saying you should unlearn what you know, but just open your mind for new space, for new things to come in there. Maybe you might grab something, right? So now those 3 people, those three layers before we get into the 7 divots.
If I tell you to leave this place now, or let's go, Once you slide out of your chair, you can only go two directions. Either you go vertical or you go horizontal. You either go up or you go sideways.
Obvious. Or I lie down, or I just stay where I am.
Exactly.
Because not taking an option itself is not an option.
Okay, so first of all, everything in the universe is layered into three. Number one, as we are seated here now, the floor where our leg is touching, from that to the core of the earth is one layer. Things we can't see.
Wait. Say it again.
We are standing on the ground.
Okay.
From the very place our feet is standing on the floor, all the way to the core of the earth is one layer.
Okay.
We call this subterranean.
Subterranean. Okay.
That means everything that exists, but we can't see. It's possible there's a great river.
Are you listening, guys?
It's possible there's a great river flowing under our legs. We don't know. It's possible that 2,000 meters into the earth
there might be volcano under there too.
There could also be. There's subterranean, meaning that our eyes can't see it, but it's there. It's there. There are rocks.
That's the number two now, right?
That's number one.
Okay.
Everything we can't see is one layer.
Okay.
Then second layer is everything that moves on the earth, that is terrestrial. Everything that moves on the earth is terrestrial. So layer one is fixed. It doesn't move. It stays there. It's fixed, literally, right?
Okay.
Except we disquiet it by excavating it. And that's where the treasures are. That's where everything that controls everything is. That's the things that are occurring in life that we don't know what is going on. Okay, then we have the terrestrial. Everything that is moving. The cars are moving. The train is moving. People are walking around. Animals are running loose. The dog is barking. Everything that is moving is on the ground. That's the second layer.
The topic is still power of information.
Yes.
I hope you're learning. We are giving you some information now. Well, you might have heard of all this we're saying before, or you might not have heard of them before. But what matters the most is that we're sticking to the topic, power of information, and we're trying to share the information. Mr. Mark here is just trying to let us know, that the earth, is it the earth?
Everything beneath the earth that you can't see.
The earth.
Foundational. Fundamental.
Three.
Yes.
And he said the first one is
everything that is fundamental, everything that is foundational, everything that you can't see. This building has a foundation. We can't see it. We don't know how deep they went when they dug it up, but we know there's a foundation.
And the
That's why we are comfortable that this building won't collapse suddenly, because the beams and the pillars is all sent down to a foundation where it's permanently riveted to stones and rocks and concrete. Foundational. It dictates everything in the universe. It keeps everything in place. Number two, everything that moves on the surface.
Okay.
That's the second layer.
That's human beings and then
animals and all. Everything that can be animated, movement, activity, they are all on the second layer. Then we have the third layer. The third layer is everything that is in the air.
But you can't see, right?
You can see it. The bird is flying in the air. He's in the third layer.
Isn't that supposed to be part of the first one?
No.
That we can see.
He's not part of the first, he's not part of the second. Remember, I used the word terrestrial. So to be terrestrial, you have to move, you have to be grounded on the earth. But once you take up in the skies, immediately you have gone airborne. At that point in time, you're in the third layer.
So the witches are also part of that.
So now what?
Did you hear what I said?
No, I didn't hear you.
I said, so the witches are also part of that. Because they fly.
Yeah, but they are in the spiritual realm. They don't use their physical body.
So they should be part of the third set, right?
The first layer.
Oh.
Because they are in the unseen realm. So when they move through the ethereal realm.
Do you also believe in witches too?
I do, but let's stay on subject.
No, wait. I just want to pick your brain. Do you believe in witchcraft?
Yes, there are witches. There are people who project out of their body using their spirit, their spirit to do that. And when they do their havoc, they come back to their body and wake up and get out.
They don't see it as havoc. They see it as fun. When they hurt other people, I think they see it as fun.
Yeah, but the output is havoc. And now we're even in this subject. Let me even tell you what they do is actually power. What they do is power, because they are powerful people.
Bully.
What they do is power. But that power is destruction. Okay, now, if that's the three layers, so let me slice power into three.
Okay.
Can I slice power into three very quickly?
Let's go.
Because it's layered.
Good.
The first layer of power that has an effect on people It's called text.
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 T-E-X-T.
Yes, T-E-X-T. Text.
The text we write.
Yes, remember power is information.
Inscriptions, you mean?
Remember power is information.
Okay.
And I said information has influence on you.
Okay.
It has an effect on you. Text is the first under-base layer of power. The second layer of power is sound.
Shouldn't sound come first?
No. Text is for the depths. Text is beneath, is on a vibration that is lower than sound. Then the third type of power, which is information, is light.
So we have text, sound, light.
Yes. So,
Okay.
the search engine called Google is a text crawling giant. They have crawlers that indexes information. And when you go on Google and type in information requesting an outcome, they serve you what they have deemed the right and perfect information based on the key request you have made. By so doing, they have just given you data in order for you to take actions in line with. And as a result, Google is one of the most powerful companies on the earth.
Search engine.
Because it's a search engine. But they give you text. Okay.
Okay, so then if Google, let's say if searching for power or searching for information is power, then if we're on search engine, you only use the word text there.
Yes.
There's no sound.
Yes. You don't need sound for text. You don't need sound for search to do a search. I know there's a transcript for people who can speak, people who have a problem listening or hearing and all that, or people who are impaired or who are disabled. But text is text. Now, the other group of people in text is the newspaper publications. They give you information, but that information is text.
And might be right or wrong then.
Yes. Remember, we're not talking about the left or the right. We're not talking about the right or the wrong.
We're
We're just saying the layers.
We're talking about information.
We're talking about information, and I've just layered it. The first layer of information is text. The second layer of information is sound.
Sound. How so?
And one of the primary institutions that are regulating sound today are the social media. Because in word of mouth, communication, saying something, you hear this one, producing videos, listening to what is being told you, what that person is saying down the street, is transmitting information to you. And that information transmission in itself is powerful because it's having an influence on you in order for you to take action. That's it. So let's go to the third. The third is light. And what is light? Light in this context is you being able to receive information in the mind by the reason of the visual representation. Images. And that image in itself is carrying information.
Okay.
And that information will cause you to take an action. Okay, let me give you a simple. Let me round it off with this analogy. Think about it. There was a time we used to watch television, and when you watch television or you watch the movie, you didn't need the subtext. You didn't require it. You didn't desire it. It was not a problem. Why was that the case? Simply because we just depended on sound and the visual.